welcome to Grill the Geeks. How are you? Thanks so much, guys, for joining us today. We're here from
The Property Geeks. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Lovejoy Realty.
Yes, hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us. We're here every Thursday at noon covering real estate topics, things that you guys have asked us about over the last week, or just different subject matter that we've been questioned about. So we are here to chat with you, but again, thank you for joining us. We really appreciate all of the comments, all of the love, all of the support. We really truly appreciate it. So we are busy. It is still spring market here. It is
sure
spring.
Is.
It is spring market. So okay, just let's see here. Are we gonna recap from last?
Yeah. So we'll just jump right in.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll recap from last week. And we're gonna jump right in because we're talking about vacation rentals.
Yep.
It's a subject that we're asked about all the time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Knowing and people that know that we do it ourselves,
Yes.
they are more inclined to ask us about it. But last week we started kind of the general topic of the discussion basically between your family or whoever you're buying it with to make sure that you know where you'd like the cabin to be, location-wise, drive time, that whole thing. What your usage personally is going to be of the cabin, whether you're going to be using it for kind of like a getaway or somewhere fun for the whole family to go,
Yes.
that kind of stuff. And as well as if you were to have guests, if you were to rent it out like we're talking about, what your guests would be using it for as well. If it was going to be kind of more like a quiet, quaint, or if it was going to be more of like, oh my God, I can't speak today. Motorsports, there you go.
Yeah.
Motorsports, or just like a fun, super awesome cabin. Like it just depends.
Yes, it just depends.
So we were talking about that, and then I think we just started barely talking about the zoning stuff, but we're going to jump into that.
We're going to jump into that
too.
as a subject. So getting into the different things to think about. So last week was kind of, a preparation of what to think about, what to talk about with your family. Usage, how much are you going to use it versus how much are you going to rent it? That's a really good question. Sometimes that changes once you have, like it changed for us.
Yeah.
When you get it all set up and you realize how well it's going and how like the positive feedback you're getting from everyone, you go, okay, I guess we'll rent it out another week, and then it ends up becoming a business. It's crazy how this happens, people, but it does happen. It definitely does happen. So today we're going to talk about a couple different subjects just going on again with that vacation rental, the vacation rental topic.
And I think that, what we talked about last week was the area and the location and that. And I think on top of that is really focusing on the actual lake that you are in the area that you have your cabin on. So
absolutely.
The size of the lake, it can also depend on whether you can have boats or not, or if it's more of just kayaking or,
motorized boats.
Paddleboards, motorized anything. If you want a super, super huge lake where there's always going to be people and it's going to be lively, or if you want some, it just depends. And then as well as like having bars on the lake,
absolutely.
or having,
Restaurants,
like tourism areas that are close to the lake. You have those areas that people know, like Mille Lacs and
Brainerd Lakes area,
lakes.
Hayward, Wisconsin area, areas that drive tourism on their own. You're going to have more competition with other cabins there.
Yeah.
However, there's definitely always people who are looking for places.
So as
there.
a destination, I think people are.
It is.
People are looking for.
Yeah.
And so people might even, instead of just typing in Google, rental cabins, they might say, rental cabins on so-and-so lake, or, and that could drive more traffic just being that.
I know our cabins, we rent out in western Wisconsin in the Balsam Lake area. If you go to upnorthcabinrentals.com, I don't know why I can't remember that.
You stumble over every time.
week. So Up North Cabin Rentals is an example of a cabin rental. We actually get most of our business from VRBO. We will talk a little bit in the future about how we advertise and how we actually fill those spaces. But yes, we are not it's not a huge destination like Hayward is, or how the Brainerd Lakes area is. However, there are very few hotels in that area, and there's a lot of weddings. Yeah. And so we get a lot of wedding guests, actually, who are there with families, and they're not even hardly at your cabin. So that's a really type of guest, a good guest ticket. So lake is really important. The next thing we're going to talk about is bedroom and bathroom configuration. So what works for your family, right? If you're buying this as a rental property for your family and to rent out, to use it as your family and then rent it out as well, you're going to need to look at what your family needs are first and foremost. But you're looking at the size and the shape of those bedrooms. right? How many beds do you want to fit in a bedroom? Do you want to put bunk beds in there?
Yeah, exactly. Or day beds.
Day beds. You want to look at the number of guests that you're allowed to have at that property versus the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms that you have. So a little trick that we've used is we have 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms in one of our cabins. 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. If we have 8 people staying there, only 2 people can shower at once and get ready at once. So then we'll put, mirrors on the wall with like a little getting ready station.
Like a vanity, like a makeshift vanity, basically. Nothing's fancy.
In one of the bedrooms.
But, yeah.
Just to give people, and guests love that because then they have a space that they can go and use a mirror and get ready. Maybe after they pop out of the shower or something like that, the next person can get in.
Or even just putting your stuff on. When you have people using bathrooms, kind of everybody sharing the bathroom, you tend to have 3 bottles of shampoo lined up.
Yes. And
3 toothpaste and toothbrush, and having an extra countertop spot. I cannot speak today.
We're a little off today.
Oh,
okay.
I'm so sorry. A counter
space.
Thank you.
Yeah,
counter space.
Countertop space.
To put your extra things.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but having extra vanities or something like that, but just have more space because again, you have 8 people in this case. 3 bedrooms. We're allowed to have 8 people in that one. So that's something to think about when you're looking at the bedrooms and bathrooms. Not necessarily how many people can you get in that bedroom. So that's something to consider.
Yes.
Also, you want to go over a layout.
Oh yeah, and then to segue to that, the layout of the cabin in general should be really important. Even if it's just, are there 2 living rooms or is there one big living room? You might have might have a bunch of guests that have a bunch of not older kids, but middle-aged kids that want to go and watch a movie, but the adults might want to have
rainy days.
Exactly, and that happens a lot.
Yes.
And then maybe you have a couple that has baby that's obviously going to be upstairs in the living room with the rest of the adults. It just depends. You could also have finding one that has an extra kitchenette.
Yes.
On the other floor or just on the other side.
That's an area to put one.
Yeah, or just even just a wet bar.
Extra fridge.
Something. Extra fridges are huge.
Yes.
Even if it's a mini fridge and
our family is going together.
Oh my gosh.
We have so much food when we go, you guys. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We can feed an army.
We have all the coolers lined up. So
everything.
And then adding ice.
Yes. More pasta salads and potato salads than you can ever
4th of July
imagine.
is the worst.
It is the worst.
It's just there's so much going on.
So
and you don't
true.
want to not have enough food, but we always end up with pounds of food later.
It's ridiculous.
But
it's truly ridiculous.
Yeah.
So finding a spot where you can put an extra full refrigerator really does help a lot.
Especially last year we had, I had my baby, and so milk was really important to keep cold, and just the essentials you need for littles, it's just you need to have that extra space.
And this really does tie into one of our earlier subjects, which was usage, right? Who are those guests going to be, and how are they going to use the space? And so if you think about our cabin, really often, guys, our cabin very, very often gets rented out to the grandparents who are renting it to their adult children and maybe taking a grandkid or 2, and which equals out 8, because we're only allowed to have 8 maximum, which gets into my next topic.
For yours.
For my specific cabin, one of my cabins. Actually, 2 of my cabins have an 8 maximum, and but that's we didn't try to set it up that way. That's just who our guests end up being, and let me tell you, they take amazing care of our cabins. We've never had a problem once. We've never had to take any security deposit. It's amazing. We've had really fabulous guests.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Hi, Melissa, first of all, and then Tony. He's making fun of Linnea.
Oh my gosh, Tony, you're making fun of your sister. I love your hair today,
Oh,
Hannah.
thanks, Tony.
Linnea comes on and tells us that she likes her hair every week. We love you.
Who else is watching? Shelly. Hi, Shelly.
Hi, Shelly.
And Kim, both Kims.
Oh, hi, Kim.
Kim Owen and Kim Stewart.
Hi, ladies.
Hi,
How's it
guys.
going? Thanks for joining us.
Sorry, I had to.
No, yeah,
pop
absolutely.
that right in there.
That's great. We're trying to get better about interacting because it's live and we're supposed to be more interactive, but we just come on and blurt out information a lot of times. So let us know if you guys have any questions here or here. Like I always say, I'm even like the 2 and 2. Like, what was that guy's name?
I don't even know.
Yeah, that was probably way before your time. That was in my time. Yeah. Okay. Everyone out there who understands what I'm talking about, 2 and 2 and love connection, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyways, get into the last topic. So that's okay. Diverting. Coming back. Okay. Zoning, you guys. This is a really big topic.
And it's kind of the drag of it.
It's the drag. It is a problem. And so, again, we talked about this last week. We do private coaching on these subjects. We will help you get through this zoning if where you're buying a cabin, they have zoning ordinances. So you might need to get a variance on a license or a zoning license.
It sounds a lot scarier than it is, though.
A zoning variance is what I mean, and a license. It sounds really scary.
It
Some
does.
areas it is more scary than others. Some it's really easy. You just pay a fee.
And it's really like at the end of the day, like you get it taken care of, and you know your zoning,
done.
and then it's done, and you just keep it in mind, and you know what you have to get every certain, if it's every year you have to get an inspection or whatever it is, and you just remember that you do, and it's really not that hard. I don't think it's just people get all freaked out about that. So it's nice that we're here because then we can
help you.
Hold your hand.
The rules on those zoning rules really do change all the time. So our cabins that we up north cabinrentals.com, right? So those cabins are in Polk County, Wisconsin, western Wisconsin. The rules just changed in the last 6 months about it. So, but what the rules are right now for in zoning, what I'm talking about occupancy rates along with many other rules. But occupancy rates are the number one thing when you're looking for a cabin that you need to take in mind. So here's my piece of advice for you, and then I'll come back to what Polk County is. My piece of advice for you is call your local zoning office through the county and ask them what the rules are. Do you allow for rentals of this type, vacation rentals? Do you allow for vacation rentals on a lake? Because most of the time they have rules on a lake, but maybe not off a lake, depending on the area. So,
and it's kind of similar if you've ever done regular rental properties, or if you've known about regular, buying a townhome and renting it out. I mean, there's also that responsibility of making sure rentals are allowed and making sure there's certain restrictions. So it's very similar to if you understand regular investment properties and understand what it takes to have a regular rental home, or if you've ever rented out your house, it's very similar. It's just different because you're on a lake and it just has a little bit different.
There's different licensures.
Yeah, there's just different rules, but it's
different
the same
rules.
thing. You still have to be responsible for the rules and understand them. And
so you want to call the county. Call the county and ask them what the rules are. Ask them, is there an occupancy rate? In Polk County, the occupancy rate is 2 people per bedroom plus an extra 2. So if you have 2 bedrooms, it's 6 people, right? 2 per bedroom plus an extra 2. And so if you have a 5-bedroom, it's 12 people. It would be then 2 per bedroom plus an extra 2. You get the idea. It's a pretty simple concept, but it's so you want to know that because again, we're going to talk about this in another segment. But we're talking about how much dollars and cents. I mean, the spreadsheets. This is Hannah's department, not mine. Yay! She loves her Excel spreadsheets. So the financials, right? The cost to the setup. And how much are you going to make on this? Are you going to break even? What's your goal with that? Again, a lot of this stuff is done in real detail when you hire us for coaching on this subject, but we can just share some general knowledge.
That's when my spreadsheets come out.
That's right. That's when the spreadsheets really come out. So, and then also, if they allow rentals, getting back to this, occupancy allowances, how many people do they let you rent it out to? And make sure you're following the rules, people, because they're going to catch you if you're not. I mean, we are very sticklers on following the rules on occupancy rates. So, and then the state health departments, they have to do yearly checks of your property. They want to make sure that you're following the state guidelines. We have our checks at the end of the year every year. You have to make sure that you're doing that. So again, the county will be able to help you get to the state part. It's not scary. We help you through some of this in our coaching programs, but just if you want to do it on your own, that's fine with us too. Just call the county and start there before you start looking for properties. So if they only allow 10 people maximum, no matter how many bedrooms, that's how Polk County used to be. They used to allow 8 max. It didn't matter if you had a 12-bedroom place, only 8 people were allowed. And
that's important because if you're looking at a
very
huge cabin, and let's say you find 2 on the same lake, has very similar things, and one's bigger and one's smaller, and you can't decide, are you going to spend more money on the big one, even though you're literally going to have the same amount of people and the same, generally the same rental rate then, on the same, what are you going to choose?
There's going to be a sweet spot.
Yes.
Where you're going to go, you know what, it makes sense for me to buy this 3-bedroom cabin for maybe $180,000 or $200,000, depending on your area. Maybe that's $400,000, depends on your area. But $180,000 versus buy this 6-bedroom for $400,000 on the lake. And so it really depends. So there's a lot of.
Creeping on me.
Is she?
Sorry.
There's a lot of.
You've heard the screaming in the background, by the way. That's my 2-year-old in the other room.
Yeah, she's in the other room.
We don't have
with
daycare
someone
this
else.
week, so
with someone else.
Yes, she's with an adult, but she's peeking through the window and you can see me.
Oh, too
Sorry.
funny. No. So so that's all we have for vacation rentals for you today. But if anyone has any questions, go ahead and post questions right now. Otherwise, we'll go into next week. We'll see you next Thursday at noon for Grill the Geeks.
We're gonna do the raffle.
Oh,
and
that's right.
I forgot to mention this earlier, but like I said, always if you comment on our videos. I mean, it can be afterwards too. It doesn't have to be when we're live.
You can tell Hannah that you like her hair. Just
yeah,
tell me that.
I mean, you can compliment me at all, and I'll probably really.
You might get an extra. You might get an extra one.
One more time. I mean, I don't like compliments. Or you can just comment, say hi, whatever, and then if you share our video onto your wall or whatever.
Yep.
That sounded really lame. If you share our video, that's whatever it is.
Down here or over there, depends on where you're at. Again, on the screen, if you're on mobile or desktop,
you get 3 entries instead of 1. So that's always exciting.
That's fun, and we really appreciate it, guys. We appreciate all the interaction. We appreciate all of it. So thank you again.
Look, I just looked at all of them.
Oh, you just. Okay, well that one. Jenny. Jennifer, you won a fabulous prize. Let me send it to you in the mail. Thanks so much for commenting last week and telling us last week if you preferred hard wood floors or hard surface floors or carpeting in the bedroom.
Yes.
So next week we'll come to you with another question, but just for this week, just say hello. And soon enough, guys.
We weren't prepared for that one.
We're not prepared this week because you know why? We're in the middle of just getting ready. We're just getting ready to move into our new space. So we're so close to moving into our new space, and we are so excited. So you guys, if you're driving down Lakeville and you see us downtown and we're like polying tables, stop by and say hi or just give us a honk as you're going by. I've had a few of those recently, and I'm like, everyone's been really excited, and we really appreciate it. So thanks again, guys, for joining us. If you have any questions about real estate, just you can PM us or put them here, and we'll make it a topic of discussion. We love to hear what people want to.
Oh, and I have an open house this weekend. On our listing in Lakeville. It's here, I don't know. On the Property Geeks, our Facebook. So if you go on there, you can find the address. And it's right in the Spirit neighborhood in Lakeville, kind of right behind Hy-Vee.
Yep.
So I'm having that 12 to 2 on Sunday, and I think Amy's hosting one too on Saturday.
On Saturday, we have one there Saturday as well. And then we also have one on the Liberty on the Lakes neighborhood in Stillwater on Sunday. So lots of new listings coming on, and they're beautiful houses. So it's kind of fun to go and see.
I know. I was like, can I just live here? That'd be great.
They're gorgeous. They're really beautiful.
So come to our open houses.
Okay,
say hi. I have to go push the end button.
Oh yeah,
our assistant.
We don't have our assistant today because she's helping with the little one. So thanks so much, guys. It's just me. See you later. I love this.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys.
Oh, there's my hair.